why we exist is to help you or help the person navigate a very complex hiring process. The relationships we have developed with our clients, with the hiring team, with the HR manager, gives us as recruiters kind of unlimited information of the candidate's future employer. So we are in a real prime position to relay the information to our candidates, and especially the ones that are coming out of academia looking for a job within the industry. You tend to have a huge information gap between, how to look for a job, how to prepare for interviews, how to ask the right questions, how to present yourself. There's so much that I think with a good recruiter, you'll be set for the next few years ahead.
Ensure that the process is as smooth as possible. We chase the clients for you so you don't have to, and we really sort of work with you from that initial stage where we have an introductory call all the way up to an offer. So we work with you throughout the stages. We often know what to expect from the interviews, because obviously either we would have had candidates go through the process before, or we know our client and how they format their interviews. So we'll be able to tell you what to expect in the interview, sometimes even have sort of examples of questions that will be asked. And obviously as well, we work to get you the best offer that you can, because obviously it's in our interest as well. So it's always good to have someone fighting in your corner in that sense.
One of my top clients, I've actually worked with them for kind of 2 years now, so I know what they look for in a CV. I know what stands out for them. So what we'll usually do if someone's missing information, or if we've had a really good conversation, I know they've got expertise in this space, but they haven't mentioned it on their CV or in as much detail as needed. That is also another benefit of working with a recruiter, because we can turn to you and say, can you add this information, or could you explain more about this aspect, just so that it highlights your profile to the team. Because obviously a lot of the time, if you were to then apply directly, they're not going to reach back out to you if your CV doesn't hit the point, but we can kind of help you adapt your CV and kind of mentor that as well.
When I speak to those candidates, it's not read me your CV bit by bit, it's tell me about what's not on the CV, what I can't read. Because anyone can read a CV and make a judgment off the back of that, but not everyone takes the time to speak to someone to understand what they've truly done or what may not be there. And that's what then I'll take to a hiring manager and say, hey, here's the candidate CV, but they haven't done this, for example, that's not listed. And they have done this, for example, that's not listed. And then I give them insight into that individual. And it essentially tees up a conversation very, very well then.
Some people will actively say, can you give me feedback on my CV? And for some, I think they're fantastic candidates, but their CV needs help. So I actively say, can we work on your CV together? And I give them, some pointers. And usually it's so easily fixed, really, really easily fixed. So it is actually very worthwhile to have good relationships with recruiters, because I think recruiters can really help candidates a lot with their job search, from something as simple as having a better CV.
We act as a soundboard for our candidates. So there's a lot of difference between recruiters. You call them the good and the bad, but we are obsessed with recruitment. And I think as a company, we take extra steps in making sure that we are there every step of the way for our candidates. Yeah. And we won't just send your CV across and disappear. I think a good recruiter, it's not hand-holding, because it's a partnership. Yeah. But if you're coming out of academia and you're a bit green in the commercial environment, it really helps to have a partner who's been there before and who helps you to avoid simple mistakes or simple preparation steps you need to take in order to increase your chances.
We take into account, obviously, salary is often quite important for people. I think, especially with R&D, I've noticed that there are lots of other things as well which people do value within the contract. So from that introductory call, we understand what is important for you in a contract, whether that be vacation time, whether you are interested in pension, meal vouchers, company cars. There's lots of different parts within the contract. So obviously we'll help in advising you throughout the process and advising our client that that's what you would be expecting, just to make sure that there's no sort of miscommunication, and just making that as smooth as possible and trying to get you what you'd be looking for. As a recruiter, obviously, we get paid via commission. So the higher the salary of the candidate, the more a recruiter would tend to get, depending on their contract with the client. But obviously, that does also play a part into it as well.